welcome to The Voyage. In our last episode, we were in Dusseldorf at the world's largest indoor boat show. Our focus, 6 magnificent UK princesses who became showstoppers at this year's continental event. And the international princess team, of course, including Greg Haynes, principal of Princess Yachts Australia. The German show has become an annual pilgrimage for Greg as part of his regular factory visit and catch-up with the Princess Yachts head office team. On today's ep, we're going to take a deep dive into this incredible company and brand, celebrating 60 magnificent years with substance and style. Most would be aware that Princess Yachts factory and headquarters is in Plymouth in the United Kingdom. Plymouth, on the coast of Devon in southwest England, has a rich and storied naval history, dating back to the 16th century, when it was a major port for English ships. In the 18th century, Plymouth became a major naval base. It was from here that many of the great British naval victories of the era were launched. And it was also from here that Admiral Lord Nelson led the British fleet to victory at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. Plymouth continued as an important naval base throughout the 19th and 20th centuries and played a vital role in both world wars. Nowadays, it's still home to a number of naval facilities, including the Devonport Dockyard, which is one of the largest naval dockyards in Europe. And it's also the birthplace of another piece of British nautical history. 60 years ago, right here, the Princess brand was born.
Oh, this is where it started, yeah, absolutely. That's a project, it's called Project 31 feet. If you want to think of it as like the first ever Princess, it's where the business started. We've managed to find one on the second-hand market. We brought it back to the shipyard and sort of, I guess what you call now, resto-modded it, refurbished it, and it's now ready to be wheeled out for our 60th anniversary this year.
Nowadays, Princess is one of the largest employers in this seafaring town, building boats on a scale that needs to be seen to be believed.
There's 2,500 people working in 6 sites, Cookville, 26 acres, ex-military site, the South Yards, an ex-naval site. So a lot of heritage, there's so much to see, and the Princess team here in Plymouth, they're more than happy to show you around absolutely everything that they're doing.
And that's why we're here, to spend time with Greg Haynes from Princess Yachts Australia as he casts a watchful eye over a number of Aussie customers' vessels under build and decides on trends going forward for vessels he'll bring on as stock boats for the Australian market.
You know, I think that's yours, Greg. F55211, it is, yeah.
We ordered this boat for a stock boat, and then we had a client that already owned a Princess, and he came back and said, well, I think I need a new one. So we put that together for him. He'll take delivery a bit later in the year, and hopefully he'll be at Hayman with us for our rendezvous in September.
Yeah, so to stay ahead of the game, you've got to adapt to what the customer wants, and customers' demands are going up more and more each year, so you have to adapt your business to do that. So whether that's technology, whether it's the quality, the finish, yeah, you've got to go with it, otherwise you've lost.
Yeah, look, good old Australian technology on the propellers.
Well, there's nothing better.
No.
Those Vein propellers, machined from an ingot of brass, and that's the best you can get. So yeah, they come all the way from Australia, we stick them on the boat and then send it all the way up to Australia.
The sheer size and scale of this operation is immense. Large-scale production lines of vessels being handcrafted by artisan boat builders who are meticulous in detail and design along every part of the process. Here, as an example, are the hulls of 7 72-footers moving shoulder to shoulder down the production line, with workmen and women crawling all over them like ants. The protocols, checks and balances running smoothly and efficiently, just like clockwork.
It's a great boat for us, a 72, so yeah, definitely up to 81, so we must have sold closer to 90, I guess. We'll walk around and I'll explain some of the kit that you can see, and we'll walk along the mezzanine and you can see the various stages of the build. As you can see, already the glass is starting to go in, so the guys are just bonding the glass in place now, and the hull, the wiring looms will be going in. Probably no engines on this one yet, the engines will come in at a later time. And then what we've got down here is all the kit that is coming in ready to be fitted onto the boat. So we've got a fuel tank here, generators there, all of the furniture comes from our furniture shop here. So the set of doors, all sorts of bits and pieces ready to be lifted up on the overhead cranes and to go in on board, get fitted to the boat. You want a horizontal force of thrust, and of course you can't because the propeller will be coming out of here. Yeah. So by putting this tunnel in allows us to get that near horizontal, push the propeller up into the hull. That's often why you find the Princess hulls are more efficient than some of our competitors, just by this sort of design work that Olazinski's do for us, our naval architects. Behind every boat is a workbench. So the guys working on this boat here, this is their bench, and they'll use this bench for sort of fine trimming and tuning the parts that have arrived, just so that everything fits perfectly. So it's real old school boat building. You know, there'll be jigsaws and sanders and getting things right. Does it pass?
Yeah.
The ethos behind the Princess process is essentially bespoke boat building. Customer driven and customer focused. Everything designed and built on site from the ground up.
One thing that customers are surprised of when they come is we've got 1 million square feet of factory space here. And literally in one end goes gel coat and resin in barrels, and hardwood comes in planks, and out the other end come the world's most beautiful luxury yachts. And we do everything that's in between, whether it's making wiring harnesses, making fuel tanks, making water tanks, making furniture. And I think I said to you when we were in Düsseldorf that we like to joke we're the UK's biggest furniture builder. And I think that's a fact. And you know, that is something to celebrate.
I've been through boat yards all over the world and I've never seen anything as done as well as Princess do it.
As a sign of just how far Princess will go in its commitment to getting things right, we need to take a visit to the on-site ropery building, complete with hangman's gallows. I kid you not.
We've got the hangman's cell, which is where they used to hang the prisoners of war, which is a bit brutal. So yeah, there's a few French sailors who went under the rope. So that's got, that's the trap door. You pull the lever, and then the rope is over the beam, and it's all over. How many ghosts in there? I haven't waited to find out.
As the name would imply, these 300-metre long buildings, built in the 1700s, are where rope was manufactured and the phrase spinning a yarn was born. With many miles of rigging on each warship, rope making was a vital part of shipbuilding and ship maintenance. These days, Princess still use the building for marine endeavours, as home to many of the new models which are mocked up to scale using timber and plywood. While computer animated design drawings can show you a 3D image on a flat screen of what a boat will look like, nothing comes close to being able to walk through a mock-up in timber of your new vessel to really give you a sense of space and layout. A genius idea, and one that defines Princess's commitment to great design and customer satisfaction.
We're really lucky that we've got these really old buildings. They're class 1 listed. We can't change the buildings at all. So this amount of space allows us to build full-scale mock-ups. Here we are sat on our new 90-footer, which will come to the market in a couple of years' time, where we've got the whole main deck mocked up in real time, the flybridge, and also the lower accommodation. There's nowhere else you'd have that amount of space to build the boat real scale in plywood, and then adjust it and tweak it.
It allows our designers to change things, it lets customers come on, walk it, fill the space, but basically we continue to make improvements all the way through till that boat comes into production.
It's a big investment to put your money down on a boat that's not even built yet. This allows them to come in and get a feeling for the space. You can look at plans in 2D, you can look at sketches, that's fantastic, but when you walk around it you go, holy moly, this is huge, you know, the volume in here, and more often than not, you know, they're in, yep, better than I thought it was, where do I sign? So it's hugely powerful for the sales.
While much of the heavy lifting is done here at the shipyard, a short drive away is another Princess factory where tradesmen and women work on 24/7 rosters, constructing componentry to be incorporated into each vessel. Carpenters and cabinet makers, electricians, plumbers and waterproofers, boat builders and air conditioning and refrigeration mechanics, boiler makers, you name a trade and you'll find one of them here. In fact, this is the second largest furniture factory in the entire United Kingdom. What is truly inspiring to watch is the way a cabinet, a set of stairs or a bow thruster comes to life from inside these walls. As Will said earlier, timber and resin coming in one door and a bespoke magnificent Princess vessel coming out the other at the end of the process. Other than engines, gensets, gyros and electronics, just about everything you touch, see and feel on a Princess was made from scratch, on site, right here. Testament to a company that knows its product from the ground up, literally.
We build about 200 boats a year of various different sizes, and at any time in the factory we've probably got nearly half of those in build, either in a mould or on an assembly line, in test. So there's a huge amount of boats in the process. So I think customers are surprised. Boat building is, it's quite a cottage industry really, but Princess is one of the bigger and more industrial players. And we're really proud of the fact that this is quite a big company in the industry.
With about 4 boats a week leaving the factory, sea trials are an almost daily occurrence. On the slings and ready to go is this magnificent X80, a boat that Greg is keen to have another look at. The other vessels Greg is keen to follow have been purchased by Australian clients and are making their way down the Princess production line. And a small video to those excited owners-to-be on the other side of the world is a nice touch to round out the factory tour.
We're at the moulding shop at the moment where your beautiful boats have just come out of the mould. Takes about a week to put all the fiberglass in the mould. The deck's out now. They'll just start getting this prep, put all the trays in, get the deck moulded, turned over, and then start trimming it and get the hull and deck joined. And then it'll go over to the other factory at Newport Street and get assembled. It's a beautiful boat. You've chosen well. You'll enjoy it up at the reef. Lo and behold, it's your new boat. We're going to have a little sneak peek through it. Hardtop's just been fitted. It's going to go for a sea trial in a couple of days. So
The gentleman here is signing off all of the items that have been picked up by our first audit. So the boat comes down, they do some snagging. You can see some sort of blue tapes up here on the woodwork. So he's going through to make sure what's been fixed and what needs fixing before she goes in the water for sea trial and testing.
Princess Yachts, 60 years young, head and shoulders above all comers in its class, leading the way in design, technology, safety and style. The future looks bright.
We don't falter in our efforts and our investments in developing new boats. The Australian market is a significant market. Our buyers in Australia are relatively unique in that they are real passage makers. They travel great distances, they are independent, often without crew, they are owner-operators. That really suits us because we build a very practical boat, so we get a lot of good feedback from Aussie owners. And hopefully, through that, when we develop a new boat, it appeals to the Australian market.
It's quite remarkable. Every customer that's come to the shipyard walks away dumbfounded how big it is. And it's someone's just purchased a boat, and they'll come to Plymouth to see their boat coming through the production system, and they go to all the different yards and see all the production and how much labour goes into it and the quality of the finishes, and then they say, I get it.
Like to get on board and take a look for yourself? 5 magnificent Princess yachts from 40 to 65 feet will be on display at this year's Sanctuary Cove International Boat Show on the Gold Coast from May 22 to 25. For a personal invitation to tour your next boat, contact Greg and the team at Princess Yachts Australia, who will organise an inspection for you at your convenience.
But we'll have the S65, which will be the Southern Hemisphere premiere of that new model. And we're really looking forward to Sanctuary Cove Boat Show, and that's going to give us the opportunity to show our customers and potential customers what Princess is all about.
That's all we've got time for on this international episode of The Voyage. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time at the Sanctuary Cove International Boat Show on the Gold Coast, May 22 to 25. See you then.